July 17th to reach an agreement on a multi-year contract extension. If Barkley and Jacobs do not reach a multi-year deal, they can play for the 2023 season on that one-year franchise tag with their respective teams. The next opportunity for a potential long-term agreement would not come until after the team's last game of the 2023 season. But Dianna, you have some fresh perspective. What more can you tell us about where things stand between Saquon and the Giants?
Yeah, hi, Field. Talks between the New York Giants and Saquon Barkley are really at a stalemate at this point. We know this deadline is creeping up in just a few days, at Monday, 4 o'clock Eastern. And at this point right now, I was told that there's no movement on getting this long-term deal done. So what does this mean? Well, I was told by sources close to Saquon Barkley that the option is on the table for the running back to skip training camp and to even miss week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. These are things he's considering if he's not able to get this long-term deal done with the New York Giants. And really feel the sense I'm getting from the New York side of this, and this has really been a constant theme over the last few months, is that they're really not very motivated to get this done. I don't sense that they're in a hurry, that they're up against the clock feeling like they got to get this deal done. I think the Giants' perspective here is Saquon Barkley is going to probably want to sign this franchise tag and not lose out on any money.
$10.1 million is what Saquon Barkley is due on that franchise tag, Lewis. As we know, there are two important dynamics in every negotiation: leverage and a deadline. We know what the deadline is. That's Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But who do you believe has more leverage in these talks? Is it the Giants, who their best player last year was Saquon Barkley, or Saquon Barkley, who, of course, plays a position that is very hard to get paid at these days?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's going to be the New York Giants in this case, simply because this is the way things work with running backs in today's market. Look, I think right now, look, they already made their intentions known as far as what the priority was this past offseason in terms of getting Daniel Jones signed to a long-term contract and then going ahead and franchising Saquon Barkley and then letting the chips fall where they may. If they thought that the priority should have been to make sure that the running back is taken care of, they would have done that. They would have done that first. They would have prioritized them differently. And I think right now, front offices are going to lean on history. When has it really played out in the favor of a front office to go ahead and sign a running back to a lucrative second-term contract, long-term contract that maybe stretched them as far as what their cap planning was and have it turn out in their favor? And look, I know that people are going to say, well, look, Saquon Barkley is the engine for this offense. He's the juice. He's the guy who makes it go. But look, I think with running backs, I think teams are always going to err on the side of caution and look for tremendous value that really plays out in the team's favor. And unfortunately, that is not something that running backs want to hear, but that's the landscape that we're dealing with right now when it comes to running back negotiations.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of Lewis, I agree with what Lewis is talking about. And it's unfortunate because when you look at Saquon Barkley, literally you could say he was the team MVP. He was the engine behind that Giants offense. I know Daniel Jones got his $40 million per year, but it was Saquon Barkley that was making that offense go. But what you're seeing right now is the business of football. As much as we can give praise to Saquon Barkley and what he's done on the field, considering he's had some injuries in the past. What you're seeing right now is what can you do moving forward? That's why the running back position is devalued, because of the investment that a lot of teams are putting in the running back position. You're not necessarily seeing the return on those investments, and I think that's what's plaguing Saquon Barkley in these negotiations.
Man, it's so tough right now for these running backs. It just feels like that market has really stalled out as Christian McCaffrey signed that extension 3 years ago that remains the bar for all running backs league-wide.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.